Raila Odinga came back into the country yesterday. Yeah. He had gone on a brief holiday, a retreat, to heal, as he puts it, the shocks of this election. In neighboring Zanzibar. Zanzibar, of course, is in Tanzania, our neighboring country. And immediately came back to the country. Raila spoke at the celebration of the swearing in of the Mombasa governor, an Azimio candidate, Abdul Nasir Sharif Nasir, who is the new governor of Mombasa. And this Azimio presidential candidate from the last elections did not mince his words. He criticized the judiciary and their ruling. And the actions of Raila Odinga has caused many Kenyans to sit up and pay attention. And most of them asking, what is Raila up to? What does he want to do? Isn't it too late? We have a new president. He has already been sworn in. What is Raila up to? I try and answer that question in this video today. And I'm sure that will be super fascinating and super interesting for you. It is no secret that a vast majority of the voters from our just concluded presidential elections came out of the elections very wounded. And they're even more wounded after the judgment of the Supreme Court on the petition that was lodged against that election that for many people did not make sense. The numbers did not add up. It was not verifiable. And now Kenyans have been left with a mystery. What really happened? And the curiosity of most of us has been piqued by the evidence we saw produced at the Supreme Court petition. Venezuelans very heavily involved in the election. A company that has a reputation for fiddling with elections, being appointed to run our elections. And then the Supreme Court says nothing about that. Although, of course, we're waiting for the detailed judgment in the next week and a half. Indeed, many legal experts are waiting for it, so that they understand the ruling made by the Supreme Court, because many people still don't understand it. But of course, if you're the curious type, you want answers like now, you can take in my latest weekly intelligence briefings, and the previous ones, especially number 84, 85, 86, and the latest weekly intelligence briefings, number 87. If you're already a subscriber, go back and take in those WIBs, and you'll get a very clear picture of what may have happened in our just concluded elections. In case you're still not yet subscribed to my WIB, you can see details on your screen right now on what you need to do. Please take advantage of this offer, because it is coming to an end very, very soon. You see, we live in very interesting times, very fascinating times. And the question always on my mind is a simple one. Are we going to see what used to happen in 1992 and 1997 successfully also happen in the year 2022, when we are under a new constitution? Because in 1992 and 1997 we're using the old constitution. It was not as stringent, it was not as people friendly as our 2010 constitution. So the question is, what worked then? Will it work today under our new constitution? That is what is always nagging on my mind. And the latest development, the remarks of Raila Odinga as he got back into the country, which I analyze in great detail on my show today, may be the first step in giving us an answer to that question. Will it work, or will it fail to work because of our new constitution? Stay with me and you'll be in a better position to answer that critical question that will easily predict the future for all of us, so that we know what is coming. Folks, a very warm welcome to my show today. Twende kazi. As I produce this video, Raila Odinga is having a meeting with Azimio elected leaders at a place called Stony Athi on the outskirts of Nairobi. Indeed, Stony Athi is in Machakos County, a place with a very interesting history, because most of this area used to be a ranch belonging to a certain Mzungu. I forget his name. And later it was purchased by General Jackson Kimeu Mulinge, who headed our military for many decades, starting from the Jomo Kenyatta administration until very late in the Moi administration. Out of all his farms, because the late general used to love farming, General Mulinge loved this one the most. Source of that information, my late political lecturer, who was a close friend to the late general. Today, Stony Athi also has a shooting range, donated to the military by General Mulinge. But for our purposes today, it is super fascinating that this is the very place where it is all going to start. What am I talking about? We have already received very clear signals from Raila Odinga that he is going to oppose the government of President William Samoei Ruto. The clear direction we have seen from Raila Odinga is resisting. And you can be sure that the beginnings of his strategy to do this are going to be mapped out during the meeting that is currently taking place. Now, this morning, I was talking to an ordinary Kenyan working on a farm somewhere in this beautiful republic of ours. And he seemed very happy that Raila had finally spoken. And he posed a question to me. Chris, what can Raila really do? Kwa sababu Supreme Court walifanya vile walifanya na ameapishwa. Sasa Raila anaweza kufanya nini? I believe that is the question bothering, nagging at the minds of very many supporters of Azimio. The vast majority of Kenyans and the vast majority of Kenyan voters. You see, we know Raila. We know that he's going to use constitutional means to bring about whatever change he has in mind, or whatever change the vast majority of Kenyans deserve. We also know for a fact that Raila sio mtu wa shortcuts. After the recently concluded elections, there are some UDA people who said, Raila, kama uliibiwa, si hata wewe ungeiba. I'm telling you, the thinking of some Kenyans in this our country, hata sitasema kitu. But the point is, Raila can never steal anything. Raila can never steal votes in order to get into office. Never ever. To be very honest with you, I have no idea how some people sleep at night. Because you're supporting somebody who you know stole votes, whatever seat it is, member of parliament, governor, or even president. You know they rigged themselves in. Everybody knows they rigged themselves in. And you're there cheering and saying, we won. We were elected by our constituents. Voters elected us. Kwani iko nini? And you say that with utter confidence. Do you have a conscience? Do you? Are you aware that one day, just one day, you will have to answer for every action you took during your visit to planet Earth? Oh yes, because it's a visit. We're here for a while, not forever. And that is why it is so important to do only things which can stand the test of time. Raila Odinga's record speaks for itself. Raila Odinga's record portrays his character very clearly for all of us. And so there are a number of things we can say with a lot of confidence. Raila will use constitutional means. But then the question is, what constitutional means? Now, I don't know if you're aware that we already have quite a number of clues, at least two major clues that tell us the direction Raila Odinga is about to take. Let me quote the part of the Constitution that I believe Raila Odinga is going to use. Actually, it comes very early in our 2010 Constitution. And I know many of us are very familiar with it. It is the way our Constitution starts. And it starts as follows. All sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya and is delegated to the various offices and power structures in the country. I need to repeat that for emphasis. All sovereign power in the country called Kenya belongs to the people, the wananchi, okay? And it is only delegated to the various offices, the presidency, the executive, the legislature, and even the judiciary. Now, let's clarify this. Is it possible for the lowest ranking employee of a company to delegate duties to the CEO? Of course not. That can never ever happen. When it comes to delegation, only a person with the utmost authority, only a person above you can delegate something to you, and never the other way around. So my point here is the ultimate power given by a constitution is given to the people, the mwananchi. That is the cornerstone of the strategy, I believe, and I could be wrong, that Raila Odinga is going to use. I believe he's going to use it to correct the situation in Kenya, where massive fraud has been committed, not against Raila Odinga, against the people of Kenya. Indeed, in his maiden speech, when he jetted back into the country from neighboring Zanzibar, the Spice Islands, Raila said that what he fears, yes, he used that word, what he fears is a situation where what Kenyans saw on 5th September 2022 is repeated again in our next general elections in 2027. And of course, this is a situation where the votes of the vast majority of Kenyans don't matter. They're irrelevant. They're rubbish. They are hot air. And Raila is just echoing the feelings of the vast majority of Kenyans. There's already a push, and I believe you've noticed it, where people are very eager to remove their names, to remove themselves from the list of registered voters in the country. Hakuna haja, ni ya nini? I become a registered voter for what? I go and vote, why? For what reason? That's what Kenyans are saying. And you can be sure, Kenyans would not be talking like that if they believed that their vote counted. They wouldn't. That's a fact. Now, in my opinion, the first very clear signal that this is the Azimio strategy came out in the speech given by former President Uhuru Kenyatta shortly after the Supreme Court had pronounced itself. You will remember in the speech, the former president said, in fact, in my opinion, he challenged Kenyans to ask questions, to ask why a Supreme Court that rules one way in this election can rule in another way in another election petition. Why? Is it the numbers which are most important, or is it the process? Because of course we all remember in 2017, the election of President Uhuru Kenyatta was nullified because of the process. Okay? And now in 2022, despite massive evidence that there are many instances where the process was not followed, the process went wrong. And indeed, to date, the presidential election results of 2022 are not verifiable. They are not. I challenge anybody to show me and prove to me that those election results were verifiable. And you can look at them, add up the numbers, he, very good. It all makes sense. I challenge anybody to do that, especially UDA supporters. You'll remember the same speech, the president challenged Kenyans to check, using what they already know and what they can see, to use that to check verdicts given to them. Of course, the president emphasized that the verdict of the Supreme Court he had accepted. He respected it, meaning that all Kenyans should respect it. But having said that, the president challenged Kenyans to ask questions. In other words, the president asked the real boss to look at the situation, to take a closer look at the situation. And the real boss should ask questions. The real boss in all these matters, according to a constitution, not according to Chris Kumekucha, not according to Azimio or even Raila Odinga, according to a constitution. Another pointer as to the direction Azimio may take going forward came out of Raila's speech when he came back into the country. He said that he has noted that the judiciary has been threatening the people. When the people do exactly what President Uhuru Kenyatta, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, suggested that Kenyans question, Raila said he has noticed that the judiciary is not taking it very well. It is threatening people. And Raila said that it is possible that he may lead a 1 million Kenyans march to the judiciary. I believe what he meant is a kind of protest march, to protest against the judiciary. In my opinion, this was the clearest indication, the clearest pointer as to the path that Azimio intends to take. You see, under our constitution, no institution, no office, no matter how powerful, is allowed to go rogue. And going rogue includes doing things that can be questioned by your boss, the people of Kenya. You see, the 2013 ruling by the Supreme Court on that presidential election, which was between Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka versus Uhuru Kenyatta and William Samoei Ruto. That ruling, and the Chief Justice then was Willy Mutunga, was very difficult to question. The truth is, many Kenyans were disappointed. Indeed, the vast majority of Kenyans were disappointed by that ruling. But it was virtually impossible to question it. There wasn't any evidence. There wasn't any evidence to point to. There were no Venezuelans in 2013. There were no dodgy things which just blow your mind that unfolded in 2013. And therefore, it was difficult, even if Kenyans felt bad, it was very difficult to question that ruling of our Honorable Supreme Court. But I'm afraid in 2022, we respect the ruling. We have to follow it. But there are just way too many questions. Mingi sana. And again in 2013, Chief Justice Willy Mutunga, while making his ruling, did not insult the petitioners. He did not threaten the petitioners. He was very polite. He used judicial language. In my opinion, it was not the same case in 2022, 5th of September. And that is the truth. You see, I'm going to shock you. In my opinion, most of the early decisions and moves taken by President William Ruto's government or administration are the kind of decisions and moves that have a very good chance of having a positive impact on the country called Kenya. That is my opinion. I know there are others who may not agree with me, but that is my opinion. Although I dare add that some of these early decisions, very early in the administration, that have been taken, have excited some Kenyans. In fact, have excited many Kenyans. Many Kenyans have received them very positively. Like the return of the port to Mombasa. Yeah. The directive to the central bank to ease restrictions. Like every time you have to bank a mere Kenya shillings 1 million, and you're a businessman, and these are earnings from your business, you have to break into a sweat. That's the situation. The Ruto administration, President William Samoei Ruto, has directed the central bank to review those stringent measures. In my opinion, that will go a long way in easing some of the bottlenecks in our economy currently. Yes, we have to fight money launderers. Yes, we have to fight corruption. But in my view, the most important priority is to get the economy back on track first. Then you can do all these other things, because it will be very difficult to achieve anything when we are all in such serious trouble economically. It's virtually impossible to achieve anything. But anyway, that is my opinion. All those are good things. And if his government has started this way, it is my assumption that we'll expect more good things down the road. However, despite all this, Raila Odinga said that what he fears most is that if what we saw as Kenyans on September 5th is repeated in 2027, then we may not have any democracy left. In other words, even if good things are happening, unfolding, and even if good things are genuinely promised for the near future, what is the point when justice has been put on the back seat? Because the truth is, one injustice which is overlooked, you can always be sure other injustices, and indeed many other injustices, will follow. And I believe that this is what is at the top of the mind of Raila Odinga. This is what Azimio want to pursue. But again, as I've said earlier on, I could be wrong. This is just my opinion. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.